hello. Hey, how are you all? This is Coach Janelle CPA coming to you with day two. Oh my gosh, this consistency is like so real right now. So day one, basically, when I'm talking about day two, I'm talking about 90 days of service. So I committed myself to do that, and I'm just excited. So let me go ahead and dive right on in. Hey, Derek, thank you for watching. So I'm going to talk about financial roadblocks. That was something that was mentioned in the comments from day one. And I was thinking about roadblocks, right? What are roadblocks? And basically, it's something that stops you when you are attempting to go to your destination, right? So I heard yesterday that someone was trying to say, hey, listen, I want to keep up with my costs. I have these goals, but however, I keep on running into financial roadblocks. So what happens when you have financial roadblocks? Number one, you're frustrated, right? Because you're trying to get to your destination and there's something in a way of you getting to that destination. Number two, you feel like that there's no progress. Like every time that you take a step forward, you take two steps back. So what that financial roadblock does is that it makes you stop and waste time at that roadblock. Number three, basically, it's basically the only thing that you feel that's getting in the way of your destination. So that's what a roadblock is, right? And here's something that a lot of successful people have in common is the fact that they had to overcome a lot of roadblocks and a lot of obstacles. So some of the major roadblocks that people have, financial roadblocks, are going to be first is big debt, right? I always hear people say, hey, listen, when I get out of debt, this is when I'm going to start doing this. Or I want to do this, but I have so much debt. The second thing is they have bad credit, which is totally understandable, right? So, hey, I want to do this, but I can't. I want to get a loan for my business, but I can't because guess what? I have bad credit. So that's another financial roadblock. The third roadblock is, of course, having no cash, right? No brainer, right? Most of the things that you want to do, most of the goals that you want to achieve. Hey, Brittany. Hey, y'all. Man, good to see y'all, man. It is so awesome. So most of the things that we want to do, it does require money, right? The visions and dreams that God has put in our heart. Hey, Shantae, what up? What up? Definitely still praying for y'all. That God has put in our heart. It does require resources, right? I mean, and here's the thing. I want to tell y'all a story about this crazy time, right? So here I am, just being transparent, right? So I was at this training. This is going to be real crazy, right? So this is going to be crazy. I'm so serious. So I was at this training. What's up, Enoch? And we had this one experience, right? So let me tell you how crazy this was. I had to sign a liability waiver. So when you sign a liability waiver when you're at a training event, yeah, things are about to get serious. That means that if you get harmed or if you like die or something like that in the middle of this experiment, then they're not responsible. So we signed the liability forms, and basically what we did is we had to take an arrow, and I'm just pretending this is an arrow, and we had to put, and it wasn't like too pointy, but it was like a rounded tip of an arrow, and we had to put it right here in a soft spot of our neck. I know, transparency. What's up? 101. I'm telling you all the goods of my crazy life, right? So we had to put it right here, and there was another person that was holding on the other end of the arrow, and it was a long arrow. So yeah, so basically the whole premise of this experiment was the fact that we had to step forward and break through the arrow so that the arrow would just break in half, right? So it was a little bit hard at first. And one of the things that the trainer did say, what was the whole point of it? I guess in our mind, we got to step forward to get to where we need to get to. But anyways, the trainer was saying that, if you hesitated or if you step forward and you feel that slight pressure that is in your neck, then basically it was basically you were going to hesitate and you weren't going to go forward and you were going to hurt. And he was not lying. He said, hey, listen, half of you aren't going to do it the first time. And, you know, we've already signed the liability forms. I know, crazy, right? So he said, listen, the thing is that when you want to get past the point of change, that there will be an obstacle there. And just for instance, that arrow was real. Like, this is not a made-up story, right? This was like a real arrow. Of course, it wasn't like real pointy. It was rounded, but it was still crazy to put in a soft spot of your neck. And it was a real obstacle. So just know that, yes, I can say that financial roadblocks are mental, but hey, it's real to us. Let's just be real and just call it what it is. Financial roadblocks, no matter how much a person is successful, they're real to us. I mean, the fact that we have no cash in the bank sometimes, it's real. The fact that we have debt, it's real. The fact that we have bad credit, it is so real. So the thing is that the fact that the arrow was real, okay, it wasn't fake. So when I try to step forward, and I've done this like a couple, it took me like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I don't even remember. But as soon as I try to step forward, it would hurt. And I would be like, oh, yeah, that hurts. Yeah, I don't know what the crap I'm doing. And I literally had to focus my mind. Was I going to focus on this arrow that was hurting my neck and that was applying pressure? Because number one, I'm going to tell you this, is that your financial roadblocks are real to you and they will apply pressure to you when you're trying to move forward. So one of the things that the person that was holding the arrow, he basically said, hey, come and give me a hug. So I literally had to look past the arrow and I had to step into giving him a hug. And finally the arrow broke. But it basically took like, I don't know how many times. And so the thing is that whenever you have a goal or a dream that's beyond the roadblock, here's the thing, because I was so focused on the obstacle at hand that I really was not able to get clarity. I really wasn't able to focus in the right spot. See, the thing is that with all of us, the roadblocks are going to be there, right? There are going to be real roadblocks. But here's the thing. I've seen it with people who've had all of the above. They had big debt. They had bad credit. They have no cash. And I've seen them build companies from the ground up. I've seen them accumulate wealth, not starting from a normal place, not starting from a place of power, right? We think that we have to be in a position of power, but sometimes we are in this position to where we do have financial roadblocks, and it keeps us from getting to our destination. But we have to think that really God has given us the power to obtain wealth. And for each and every person, I just don't think that there wasn't any obstacles for no person, right? I just don't think that it was just like, hey, here you go, here goes wealth. If a person didn't come from a family of wealth, I think that they had to go through, or they did, I guarantee you, all of them had to go through some obstacles within their mindset. All of them had to go through real pressures, external pressures that were pressuring them to stay in the same place. So, because I want to go make sure that my kids are asleep, I know they're in the bed, I want to make sure that they're asleep. I'm going to be real quick. So, here's my question for you. What is it costing you to move forward? See, a lot of the times we feel like that we can't move forward because it's going to cost us something. And it might cost us to invest into a coach. It may cost us to invest into a mentor. It may cost us to invest into some financial freedom program that can change our mindset. But here's my other question. So I said, what is it costing you to move forward? And some of us aren't really ready to make that investment. It may cost us our comfort zone, right? But here's another question I want you to think about it. Better yet, what is it costing you to stay the same, right? What is it costing you to stay the same? Yeah, I understand. The first question I asked, what does it cost you to move forward? Hey, it's going to cost me my, fear. I got to get past this. But what is it costing you to stay the same in the same position that you're in with the same mental roadblocks that is blocking you? And they may be real. Like I said, your bank account, bad credit, big debt, those are real. Those are real pressures. What is it costing you to stay in that same position and not move forward into freedom? See, a lot of the times, just like what I did, I was literally trying to, as I was moving forward, it hurt more. And if I just would have stepped forward and had a clear enough goal, like was my future clear enough? Was my future valuable enough? Was my future just big enough to where it cost me my present, that I was willing to give up my present situation? So that is just a question that I have for you is, yes, what's it costing you to move forward? And I guarantee you the cost to move forward is small compared to the price of staying the same. See, whenever you stay the same, there really isn't progress. You're either going forward, basically, you're pushing forward, but whenever you start coasting, and I heard, one of my coaches, he was talking about whenever you coast. Some people, it's easy just to coast through life. One thing that I notice about coasting is that you're subject to whatever's happening external. So just so happens that you decide to coast and you're coasting downwards, you look like you're having forward momentum, right? And you're not having any, you don't have any pressure on the pedal. So you don't have to worry about going forward, because guess what? Your external is going downward. So you're like, yay, I'm moving forward. But guess what? When it starts going uphill and it starts getting a little bit tough, the coasting's not going to work. Like maybe if you're on a level plane, you're fine. You can coast, right? You might get slower and slower and not really know that you're digressing back. But once you go uphill and things really start going tough and you're used to coasting, it's going to get tough to coast. So that's just a question that I leave with you. Again, if you have any questions about finances, about business, hey, listen, I am here for you. Listen, you have 90 days to basically utilize my gifting of finances and just life, right? Whatever you want to ask me, hey, listen, I will be an open book as it's in alignment with my giftings. And here's one thing that I learned. I'm going to leave you with this, is the fact that I was with my with one of my coaches, and basically I was sitting there and she was telling me how I get so focused on the finish line. And she's all like, you have a whole bunch of finish lines, right? Because I'm a person that likes to accomplish things. But she was saying that your focus sometimes just needs to be like, hey, listen, what's that next step you need to do? And so I encourage you, hey, listen, what is that next step that's going to push you forward? Because what I've done is sometimes I will procrastinate, because if I have a marathon to run or a 5K, if I don't see the finish line, it's like, I don't see the finish line. And let's just be real. Hey, listen, I want to obtain and become a millionaire, right? And I know that's something that I got to become. And here's the thing. I know I don't see it in the near finish line, but she was saying, hey, listen, you take a step, it takes it by step, right? But you keep your mind on the finish line. You know what the finish line will look like. And so as long as you have a clear goal and you can continue to move forward, hey, listen, obstacles are going to be very real, and they can stop them if you let them. But if you just keep your eyes on the prize, basically just keep your eyes on what God tells you and what the dream that he's put in your heart, and you make sure that is the number one thing, your focus, then God's going to order your steps to where soon as you take another step, then he's going to direct you. Because for me, I'm not going to lie, just being transparent, I like to see how the whole thing is going to be laid out. I like to see the whole course of the 5K or the marathon. It's like I want to see the whole course, what the whole course is going to look like, so I can prepare. If I'm going uphill, downhill, whatever the course is, I want to know the whole course. But I understand that I won't know. You know, me and my husband, we run 5Ks, and we don't know what the whole course looks like. We just know we're going to go around, and as soon as we make it to the finish line. But just know that just because you don't see it all, I mean, it shouldn't be able to stop you. And so I just encourage you, again, with the two questions. What is it costing you to move forward? And better yet, what is it costing you to stay the same? So I encourage you, if you think about it, man, what is it really costing me to stay in the same position? What is it costing me to make the same amount of money as I did last year? And you can add it up. What is it costing you for you not to level up, or for you not to get another skill that can take you to the next level financially, or even mentally or spiritually? What is it costing you? So I just encourage you with those two questions. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. And since you have 90 days, hey, listen, you can message me. You can comment below with any needs that you have as far as financially. I'm here and here to serve you. So I hope you have a great night. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.